Hi, it's Kylie Koo. Welcome to my studio. So today I'm bringing you the July challenge for the Art and Soul Studio Facebook group. Now, Art and Soul Studio Facebook group is a group that I co-host with Diana from the YouTube channel Artfully Yours with Diana. And we try to do a challenge each month. We didn't do one for June because quite a number of people were working on the kind of 30-day ATC challenge. So we decided just to leave it for June. But we're back now with July, and we like to make our challenges open enough, the theme open enough that no matter your art or your craft, you can adapt that theme to something that you do. And we also like to make sure that it doesn't rely on specific materials of any sort. So again, no matter what you have, you can work with this challenge. So here's the July challenge. So the theme is restart, rework or recreate. So basically what we're looking to do is to take a piece of work that we started but didn't finish, and so we would restart it. Or we take a piece of work that maybe we didn't like so much, and so what we'll do is we'll rework that. Or if there's nothing in those two categories, then we could take a piece of work and actually recreate it, but maybe using different colours, different materials, or anything of that sort. So I'm not going to do one from each of those categories today, but I'll show you from my own work something that might fit into each of those categories. So I'll just move this out the way and I'll grab a couple of things. So for the restart category, this would be my piece of work that I take. Now, it doesn't look an awful lot just now, but what this was supposed to be was a journal. And I started to make this probably around 18 months ago. I had this notion that I was going to create all these journals to give to friends as birthday presents, etc. And I didn't even get this one finished. So the friends did still get presents, but just not something that I had made. So I'd started to make this out of a basic file folder. You'd see that I even had pieces of paper cut out, etc. I'd sprayed them a bit, and that's kind of as far as it got. And every time I lose something and go on a hunt to find whatever I've lost, I come across this, and every time I see this I think, oh, I must restart this, I must get this done. So that would be in my restart category, to actually restart that and finish it. For the rework category, the piece that I had in mind was this. So this is a canvas. I don't know what it is size-wise. Would that be about 12 by 9 maybe? And I created this quite a while ago. I don't know, we're probably, again, talking maybe 18 months or so. Not terribly certain. And I finished it, I thought, yeah, I like it. And then for a couple of days later, I'd be seeing it and thinking, I'm not sure. Does it need something more? Do I like it at all? Should I rework it? And I have taken canvases before where I've had something on, and basically I then just go over them with gesso and redo it. So I had in mind that this might be my kind of rework. Now that I've taken it out, I'm actually liking it a bit more than I did. It's actually sat out in my other little studio that sits in the back of the garage for ages, and almost sitting there neglected. And now that I've taken it out, I'm not sure. I did have some thoughts about it, but I'll have a think. So the final category, recreate. I was trying to think what I might do, and over the month of June I created 30 ATCs, and there was a number of those ATCs that I really quite liked, and I'm just going to pull one out as an example. And it was this one, and this coincidentally used some of Diana's artwork in it. But I just really liked the way this and some others came together. And, I love small art, I love working on ATCs. But I did think, is this something I could make into a bigger piece? And if I was recreating it, there's certain things I would do differently. There might be other colours that I might use, I might add in other elements. But if you could imagine me doing something of this kind of design on a piece this size, I just thought, That's something that quite excites me, but that's a bigger job. So in terms of those 3 projects, as I say, that's just to give you an example of what we might do. But I think what I'm going to do today is finish this journal. 1, because this is a bigger project and I need a bit more time, but it is one that I definitely want to do. 2, I'm starting to kind of come back round to actually liking this the way it is, so I will let that sit for a while longer. And in fact, I'm going to put it on my easel, which is just in front of me here, and I'm going to sit and look at that for a while, and if it doesn't fall over on me, and just think about, do I want to adjust it in any way? So I think for today I am going to get round to finishing this journal. So I'll do a little bit of explaining as I go along perhaps, but some of it I might just put on fast forward and come back at the end and let you see where I've got to. Right, let's get started. So this cover started life as just a basic file folder. I was looking to see there if I had one that I could show you, but you know, just basically a file folder that would fit in the UK, A4 size papers, in the US, you know, just your basic business letter type size. And all I had done was, it was one of those that you could make ever so slightly bigger, wider, you know, to take more papers. It had a kind of adjustable piece on it here. And all I did was I then stuck a piece of paper on the front, and I think it looks like this has just been a piece of craft paper, and stuck that down, a couple of edges a little bit running off, but I'll need to nose up. That's got a little tear of some description in it. That to me looks like rabbit teeth. What can I say? If I leave it lying around, the bun likes to have a nibble. And I think I'd pulled out a few things possibly to go in it. So I have some index cards of different sizes. These were pieces left off the other piece of the file folder, and obviously at the time I just rounded the edges with a view to making these into tags. You can see how far I got with these. This must have been, I don't know, maybe for either a tab or a little pocket to some description. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, that was probably a little pocket to go in. Other pieces of paper. Yeah, I've obviously pulled them out and actually thought about a signature for this, and you know, why I didn't complete this, who knows. I've gone and I've sprayed some of them with ink. Yeah, that looks like it was maybe meant to be that way. Background noise, tractor going past. This was obviously going to be a little pocket of some description. So, you know, I'd got so far with this project. Why I didn't just go ahead and finish it, I do not know. So I don't think this needs a lot of work. I think what I would like to do is, now you see, I look at that and I think, do I want that in there? I'd sprayed that, I'd smudged it. But yes, why not? Why not? I shall do some more work around these. I think what I'm going to start to do is to do a bit more inking on some of this, just to kind of unify it in a way so that these splodges, which I did to kind of create an aged effect, just to make it blend in a little bit more. And I think the other thing I might do is some stamping. This is why I probably stalled last time. I probably thought, what next? Maybe what I'll do is put it all together and then I'll do the blending and the stamping. So if I get this in here, then I can do a bit more work on this and take it from there. Okay, I'm going to double check my pages that I've got them in the running order that I want, and then what I'm going to do is use a simple 3-hold pamphlet stitch, put them in, and then I'll start doing other bits and pieces. So, first things first, a needle and some thread. So just going through the papers there, just getting them into the running order that I wanted. So just to show you, this will measure roughly 5.5 inches by 8 inches. So that is around 14 centimetres by just over 20 centimetres. And all I'm going to do is very quickly measure. I'm just going to do one signature. So I'm just going to very quickly measure the kind of midway point and then maybe about 1 inch in. So middle will be 4 inches, and then I'll also go at, actually I'm going to go 1.5 inches because there's some papers are quite small, so 1.5 from the side, 1.5 from the side. And around about the middle point, which I'm just going to eyeball, I'm just going to take my awl and punch through there. And again. And again. And hopefully those are in a straight line. I do need to clean my awl off, it's got glue on the end. I think I need to get a bit of sandpaper or something to take it off. Then all I'm going to do is measure these up roughly. And I could take a template and do each piece of paper, but all I'm going to do is get that roughly into place. Actually, I'm going to get a clip. So I can't find my big clips. I am just having one of those days yet again. So I will just try and clip these together first of all. It's not quite going to hold. Never mind. And there's actually quite a lot of pages in this, maybe more than I expected. When I sew them in, that will bring them all in tighter together. But really this is just to get the holes punched that I'm trying to do. Okay, and now I'm just going to punch through with these. And hope for the best. Right. Some thread. I hadn't got all the way through to some of the centre pages, so all I'm doing is taking my first sheet and I'm now just using that as a template. Some of the smaller sheets will only maybe be caught once, but that's absolutely fine, so long as the thread catches them somewhere. So that's them all together now, and I will now put it together. So all I'm going to take is a piece of, this is just embroidery thread. I just thought that colour would go with it, and probably only need about 1.5 times, maybe twice. I always just like to take a bit extra, I'd just rather have a bit extra now than have to go back and take a bit more. Now I'm hoping this will fit through the eye of this needle. Embroidery thread does start to separate a little bit sometimes towards the end, so all I do is I take a piece of glue, just something like a bit of Mod Podge, doesn't need a lot, and I just dab it on the end, give it a second or two, and just flatten it, pull it together, and hopefully that will fit through. And there we go. So all I'm going to do here is the basic kind of figure 8 stitch where I'll go in through here, back out through here, in, back out there, and then I'll tie it off at the top. So I'll try and put it a bit closer, and I'll show it in kind of real time, hopefully, so that you can see it. So that's me back at the centre. So I went in through the middle, now at the back, and what I'm going to do now is go back through the middle, and you need to keep certain, especially now, that your threads are going to be tight. So this is a good time to, this holds it in place but it will still move a bit. So now is a good time to go in here, pull that tight, here, pull it tight, and again. And now what we're going to do is go back through the middle. And you'll see this one is only being caught in the centre, but that's okay because this will actually hold it in place. Although it's only punched once all the threads are in, that will hold it in place nicely. So all I'm going to do is now go back through the centre. What I'm going to try and do is not to catch that thread as I go through. Once you get to this stage, it's less easy to feed the pages individually, but hopefully by now they are kind of lined up that it's going to make it much easier. I was struggling a little bit seeing the holes just because some of the paper's patterned, and I was having to take quite a close look at it and almost feed them through individually. But hopefully now it will go through much easier, but we'll see whether or not it does. So, just checking there that all the threads are as tight as I can possibly get them. You will sometimes, depending on the kind of weight of the thread and how thick the paper is, you might get a little bit of a tear in it, but you know, nothing too much. You're trying not to do that. There, for example, that page is torn a little, but you know, that's okay, that doesn't matter. So all I'm going to do now is tie this off at the top. I'll leave this long for the time being. I may put some beads or something on it. I just don't know at this particular point, but all I'm going to do is try and get a nice tight knot here. So there we have it, that's our basic book in place. And what I now need to do is look at maybe just kind of putting a bit more decoration on. I think I had cut some of these as kind of little pockets. So they're not going to match exactly in terms of colour. I'm okay with that. There's a kind of natural quite a natural theme going on. There's not a lot of detailed colour in this, so you know, I'm certainly okay if that kind of matches like that. I think what we'll do though, before I stick them down, is just to do a bit of inking around the edges, and that will tie it in to a certain extent with that. So yeah, I'm going to look and see which ones of these I want to go roughly where. I'm guessing this one was for the back, to create a little pocket. Yeah, so I think I'll get all the pockets worked out, get them inked up, then stick them in place, and then I'll do any inking and stamping on pages. So this next bit I probably will put on kind of fast forward and maybe just put some music to it. So, 18 months in the making and the journal is done. It's not completely decorated or anything, but it's at a stage where, all the basics are there. So in terms of the binding, it was, as I said, just a simple 3-hole pamphlet stitch, and all I've done is to use a basic embroidery thread and have added a charm on each strand, and that's something these could be taken off, more beads could be added on or whatever. In terms of the closure, this just goes around the little brad and unwinds that way, and it's obviously, I've made it a size that it can be, if this expands, then there's actually room for expansion. It could be wrapped around it twice, or in future it could be wrapped around just once and then around the brad. Stamped journal on the cover. Gosh, there's a lot of activity today. It sounds like somebody's out in a microlight. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but that's in the background. I just stamped journal on the cover, just a very basic bit of decor, this type of thing that in future it could be decorated more, and the back cover just left very plain. And one simple flower added just for decoration. Inside I covered the brad up. Now I could have actually put the brad in before I stuck that pocket down, but sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. It just depends whether I remember or not. But anyway, inside this little pocket, and this could be used as an art journal, it could be used just to keep notes in or whatever. Kept the decoration on the pages to a minimum. There was some distressing went on, a little bit of stamping here and there just for effect. Can attach things with pegs or whatever. Plenty of space to draw, to make notes, to make lists, to do whatever, to journal. Grid paper, lined paper, albeit the line's going that way, but I could write that way. Some decorative paper, another little side pocket, just index card with a little bit of decoration and kind of distressing on it. Little pocket here, and that could be a little journal card writing on the back or notes or whatever. And so it goes on. And in future added a to-do list. In future could add more stamping to this, more distressing, paint, pen, whatever. It's just there to be used in whatever way deemed appropriate at the given time. There we go. How's that for a bit of whatever? So that's it. As I say, this project was 18 months in the making, simply because it was put to the side and not used. So that is definitely a restart project. So restarted and finished to the point where this can now be used as a journal. So I hope you will feel like joining us for this month's challenge. And if you're not a member of the Art and Soul Studio Facebook group, please do join us if you'd care to. Just go to Facebook and search for Art and Soul Studio, and Diana and I would be very pleased to welcome you there, as I'm sure would the other members. It's a very informal group. People are free to share work as and when they want to, but we're just always interested to see what other people do. So as I say, I hope that's inspired you to either restart something, rework it, or recreate it. And please do let us know how you get on. So thanks very much for watching. Bye for now.